Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 434. I'm your Joe Diggs, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
What's up?
Matt Selner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. It's the first episode of 2022, which means we're going to talk about predictions. We're going to look back on last year and we're going to look forward at this year. We also had 10 segments planned for this week's episode, but we had to cut it down in half to make room for Matt's predictions for 2022.
Juicy.
We do have a couple of fun questions, a couple of fun topics this week. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 2022 in video games, specifically because I'm not looking forward to any video games in 2022. I'm looking backwards and playing old stuff because that seems like the way to go. I don't know. Matt, what do you think about the future of video games?
Oh, it's probably not great, but, you know, I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ups. There'll be ups. I mean...
Yeah.
2021 had its ups. I mean, Lucifer came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the question. Mark, are indie developers the saviors of video games?
Yes. I've believed that for a couple of years now. But, yeah, there's no real shackles there.
Well, then the problem is that you have the companies who make the resources that the indie developers use then become bigger and bigger, and they start forcing all of that stuff top down, and then, you know,
Right.
It's okay.
Can't be too successful. You gotta...
No.
Where the problems come in.
Yes. But hey, man, we're not here for cynicism. We're here for fun. In fact, we're ready for so much fun. It's time. We're not even... Last year, we jumped all around. We did a whole segment before the predictions. We're getting right into it, down and dirty. Looking back at 2021's predictions. First, Matt, have you watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
No.
Mark, do you still think that the Super Mario movie will be okay?
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Matt, I'm going to ask you to keep score.
Are you
Really just
implicitly,
writing down
implicitly
numbers.
trusting me on the scoring here?
Really just to write down the numbers.
Okay.
But we had the three of us, plus our friend Akko, submit predictions for last year. And we're going to read through what they were. We'll tally up the points, see who won, and then we'll go through our 2022 predictions. So Mark was the first one to kick us off last year with predictions. I will run through... or here, let me do it this way. So here's Akko last year. Said, number 1, a Banjo-Kazooie reboot developed by Playtonic will be announced. 0 points.
0.
It could still happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is unfortunate wording for this number 2, but a few old rare N64 games will release on Switch. He had to put the release piece in there, but they are coming. Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, right?
Right. Right.
What do you think? You give him a half point?
We can.
Yeah.
We can.
All right.
We still got that dirty
Fine.
half point out there.
Oh, yeah.
So
don't
nobody
worry. I
wants
was
that.
going to remind the audience of that.
Nobody wants that. Number 3, Akko said Nintendo 64 will be added to Switch Online service.
I'll give him the full point. I know it's extra,
That's a point.
but
And then Mark, in response to that, said, if only. We were very excited about that. Very excited about the prospect
Monkey's
of that.
paw with that one.
Akko said number 4, Resident Evil Outbreak Reboot, which we didn't quite get, but that delayed multiplayer thing that was attached to 8 is kind of Outbreak, is it not?
No.
Outbreak,
not really.
Outbreak's campaign-based, right? Like co-op.
Yeah, I guess you're
campaign-based.
right, yeah.
Yeah, it's full co-op. This one is all PvP.
Well, to that, Matt said, I don't know about that. The multiplayer thing for 3 failed epically. They tried again, though, so we'll see. All right, no point for that one?
No.
That's just
All right.
Outbreak is too different from what
what we are
whatever that is.
intended
What's
to
it
get.
called?
I don't remember.
Resident Evil : Verse.
Right,
Right.
reverse. And then number 5, Akko said Nintendo Switch Pro releases at the end of the year. Did not happen.
It was probably
No.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Definitely, there was a lot of rumors until we just got an OLED screen. Yeah, which
So
I
we've
have,
got
so
1.5 points for Akko.
1.5.
All right. Jumping to Mark. Number 1. If Resident Evil 8 gets delayed, it will only be a maximum of 2 times.
How about not at all?
That's a full
Yeah,
one, right?
never did. So I think that's a point. Number 2 for Mark. No Metroid Prime 4 news.
Mm-hmm.
Another point for Mark.
That was an easy one.
I'm sad that you got that correct.
Shenmue 3 gets delayed easy.
Yeah. Number 3, Mushroom Warriors, which was intended to be a Dynasty Warriors game set in the Mushroom Kingdom. I know. Sadly, you did not get a point, but boy, do I hope you get one this year for that retrospectively or retroactively. This one is your most Matt prediction ever. Number 4, Halo Infinite will not experience any additional major delays, especially once a date is set. Period. The multiplayer will release first. Period. The campaign will follow. Period. As an apology, you'll get day 1 campaign bonuses. You literally said, I don't know, things like dumb XP boosts or a skin. So that's a point. I think across the board.
That's a full point.
Yeah.
Because, you got your, like you kind of got the reward. Well, yeah, because they apologized. You got the helmet and stuff. I was thinking just in the campaign itself, they apologized about multiplayer and gave me multiplayer skins in the campaign.
I almost wrote very similar, like saying like I don't know some dumb shit like was going to be in my sentences, but I decided to be more professional about it.
And then this was not on record for your point, but you said, you have to download all the Crackdown games to unlock the apology bonus.
Hey, there's
That
still
was
time.
Yeah. And then number 5, Digimon Survive finally releases. Bonus point if it came out in December, because you had a very strong feeling about December. Sorry, Mark. But maybe the end of February we get some big news about Digimon Survive. So for Mark, that is 1, 2, 3 points, if I'm correct.
That is a
Wow, new record.
Yeah. Never have I ever.
I don't think I've ever went above 1.
Well, here, if you want to see what it sounds like to be below 1, let's check in with my predictions for 2021. Number 1, I said Donkey Kong 40, a Mario 35 styled Donkey Kong game. Number 2, I said Mod Nation Racers on PlayStation 5.
You close. What's that one game that's coming? That's not Modern Nation Race.
Oh yeah, yes. But that specific. Number 3, I said that we would have not only a Dreamcast Mini, but that we would also get Saturn and Dreamcast games on Nintendo Switch. Now, we did get some Saturn ports to Switch this year, using an emulator developed for the Switch by the folks who ported those games. I'm not giving myself a point for that, though. Not even a half point. Because it's not what I had in mind. This one's still, I don't know why. I guess I just wanted to be hurt. Number 4, I said Earthbound Beginnings on Nintendo Switch Online's NES library, followed by Earthbound on the Super Nintendo Switch Online, and then we would get a Mother 3 15th Anniversary Collection. So, yeah. 0.
Sorry.
And number 5, I said Ring Fit Adventure Expansion. It'd be a new adventure with new moves. Costumes for other Nintendo properties would be included as something to wear.
That'll be this year.
I know. I looked back at several years worth of predictions at this point, and I'm always a year too early.
Yeah.
So that's what I should have done this year. I shouldn't have written predictions for
Just
2022. I
copy
should have
paste.
written them for. No. Oh yeah, I should have done that. But no, I should have done 2023's predictions. All right. So I got a whopping 0, and then we're going to bring it home with Matt. Get your calculator ready, buddy. Number 1, Konami will make Metal Gear Solid 6. Matt will be mad. It will not release in 2021. Bonus half point if it's given a subtitle of Liberation. Mark offers an additional bonus point by asking who plays Snake. Matt says Oscar Isaac or David Hayter. It was a little bit more drawn out than that, but I summed it up as that.
Well, it was a 0 anyway, so don't worry.
Yep. Number 2, Matt said Metroid Prime 4 re-revealed with a 2022 release date. Matt is saddened to see that it does not have the robust multiplayer system in place that he'd hoped for. It's okay, however, because Splatoon 3 is announced, and you can play with your friends. Which I think you were very specifically trying to...
Don't give me the point on the Splatoon 3.
I'll give you a third of a point. You predicted Splatoon 3.
No, but it's the emotion of Matt. Matt would have been happy if we knew you could play with friends in Splatoon 3. And we don't know that yet, so...
Fair.
All right. I'd still give you a third for Splatoon 3 being announced.
All right. Sure.
Number 3. Elden Ring releases in the fall. Matt will own the Platinum Trophy by 2022. Matt will also own the Platinum Trophies in Demon's Souls Remake and Dark Souls by 2022. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to this. I would say 1 main part followed by 3 subparts, and I would give you a third of a point for getting your Dark Souls Platinum. Did you get Demon's Souls yet?
So, I was probably well on my way for the Demon Souls thing, and then I realized I messed up how I killed an NPC. It did not count towards the world tendency in the correct way, and I would need to replay the game again. And I think it would have been 2 additional playthroughs, and I kind of sucked the win out of my sails. I'll get it at some point.
But you got Dark Souls. I'll give you a third of a point.
Okay.
And number 4 for Matt. Final Fantasy 16 releases this year, but not before a trailer for Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. It's a 0. And then, bringing us home, Matt said, the Switch Advance releases in the summer. It is a home console only and outputs in 4K. Breath of the Wild 2 releases with the console and is Matt's Game of the Year 2021.
Well,
sorry. Maybe this year. Mark, you won. You won.
Oh, I'm not used to hearing that.
I did get .666666 repeating though for my both my 2/3, so I won in a way.
So
yeah, I think you
I
did
won
win.
in my own way. No,
Who's the
Mark
real
definitely
winner?
won. That was very good. That was a very good performance, Mark.
Thanks.
Can he do it this year? We're going to find out right now. You guys ready for 2022 predictions?
Of course.
Bring it.
Favorite part of the year right here.
All right. Let me check my text messages. Nothing. All right. So far, it's just us 3 on predictions.
Okay.
Mark, you won. Would you like to choose the winning or the reading order?
Joe, we'll start with you.
Sorry, who'd you say?
What?
Joe.
Okay.
Oh, I go first?
Yeah. And then...
No, I was going to say that buzzing noise you made had a good output with your noise gate.
Yeah, I would say Joe, then me, then Matt.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, number 1. Street Fighter 6. It's released and is also coming to Nintendo Switch. Period.
Can you repeat? I missed the first part of that. I don't know how.
Am I cutting out again?
No. I was just
Okay.
I was gearing up for which one I say first, and then you just started, and I completely missed it.
Street Fighter 6 is released and is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Okay.
I will also go with a short and sweet. This was my last one before, bringing it back this year. Digimon survives.
Bang! There it is.
Yep. I'm in. I'm ready to Digimon.
All right, I'll do my shortest. Square Enix will rake in money when Final Fantasy 16 comes out this year. That's not all they have in mind. You'll get a Parasite Eve HD collection by Halloween.
Oh shit. That's
I'd be
big.
okay. People need to play that. Playing through or getting my PlayStation 3 set up to be a PS1 machine right now. I'm very much looking at that like, boy, they should put an emulator on PS4 and 5 and let people play these games because they're fantastic. But okay. Speaking of backwards compatibility, number 2, Xbox buys Sega. I know what you're thinking. I think it makes a lot of sense at this point. I think that because here's the thing. We've heard for years these rumors, right? That this was going to happen, that this is what... I think that the reason those rumors happen is because they're real, but something like this takes a long time. That ZeniMax acquisition that they did took a long time. Imagine doing that when an American company is trying to acquire a Japanese company. And they're involved with, the dual nature of Sega and Sammy corporations. I think that somewhere along the way, they'll kind of separate the arcade business or something so that Sammy can spin out into its own thing. Sega falls under the Xbox thing. But I think at this point, the Xbox brand is strong enough. I think there's a good legacy between Xbox and Sega at this point. And I think that you've got probably a lot of goodwill from the internal studios to start making some serious conversations. I think there's enough, especially after the ZeniMax thing, where they can say like, hey, look at how good it's been for these teams, and financially speaking, blah, 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 blah. I think that stuff like the partnership with Phantasy Star Online 2, and that, I think all of that were like the seeds starting to be planted, and I think there's just a lot of writing on the wall that leads there. Of course, there's that whole Azure cloud thing they're doing, etc. And then to kind of call back to last week when we were talking about what's Xbox's next mistake, I don't think that it's buying Sega. I think that's a fantastic move. However, I do think that the fact that the Azure thing is rumored to be an NFT-based Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis successor, there's your Xbox mistake when they allow that to happen under their roof. But no, man, I think it makes sense. You've had a lot of good Sega and Xbox stuff over the years. There's such a huge back catalog of Sega stuff they could pull forward. I think
that'd be interesting. I like the where there's smoke, there's fire kind of approach to this. I just don't see how it. I mean, PlayStation. I mean, come on. I mean, we're hearing the rumors about it. PlayStation, if this is true, is hearing about. I just don't see a scenario where they let that happen.
How'd they let ZeniMax happen?
I think they felt they could let ZeniMax happen and still be fine. I don't think they can go over to one big conglomerate buy. I don't know. That's what
I have a bonus point.
It's interesting though.
Bonus point, Xbox announces that it's acquired Avalanche Studios Group.
Okay.
That seems like an easy one. They're the ones making that Contraband game. They're behind all this Just Call. I think they make sense to be acquired.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That's my
It's
number 2.
making
Mark?
me think of at the end of like those Sega ads where they show the eye and you see the logo inside the iris. I'm thinking in the other eye you see an X.
Exactly. There's so much right there, ready for the picking.
Yeah, I'll get this one out of the way too. This will be another obvious one for me. I guess all of them are kind of. But anyway, Breath of the Wild 2. I know. We're back at this again. Will run at 60 frames only on Switch Pro. will get a short clip this year, but with no release year. But will be out in 2024 as a cross-platform release. Again.
Man.
That would be, if it is 60, that is the second Zelda game to be 60 frames.
What was the first?
Link's Awakening for Switch.
That was 60?
I'm pretty sure parts of that were 60.
Oh, no, you're right. It just dropped frames all the time. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I remember it was choppy. Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, hopefully this one won't have any dips, but...
No, yeah. Well, it'll be on the Switch Pro, so it'll be fine.
Right.
I hope you're wrong about that. I hope that game's out this year. Matt, number 2.
Elden Ring will get one more delay before releasing this year. It'll be worth the wait personally, but the hype will be through the roof when we get Bloodborne Remastered as the marquee PlayStation exclusive this holiday because God of War gets delayed to 2023. Bloodborne Remastered will come out on PC on its release anniversary in 2023.
PS5 this year. PC next year.
They need an exclusive because of holiday, because God of War 3 doesn't make it. Or not 3, sorry, the Ragnarok.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah.
Number 3, this one's a little bit kind of stacked, kind of like Matt's multi-tiered one. Bandai Namco announces a new Ridge Racer.
You're really riding the Ridge Racer train.
Dude, I'm in. Also, that one's going to release at Game Pass on launch. On Game Pass at launch, sorry. Yeah, there's that. We need a new Ridge Racer. They got to make one. So let's get going, you know. Mark, number 3.
The Mario movie trailer is going to become the highest viewed YouTube video of 2022 after its reveal via Nintendo Direct in June. Will get rewarded gold points for pre-ordering tickets.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good.
That's where I originally had, I don't know, some dumb cross-promotion bullshit with Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, the big E3. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's a good one. No, you're going to get a full point on that. Like, legit. The tickets
yeah.
is like... All right. While people are staying at home and not gambling, Konami is realizing they can make money by making video games again. They continue to open up the payroll for video games for a new Castlevania. It will be in its 2D roots and will star a brand new Belmont as a sort of reboot to the series.
Bobby Belmont.
Did you say Bobby?
Yeah.
Okay,
imagine getting your ass whipped by a Bobby Belmont.
Yeah, I mean, some of the names have already been... Like, Christopher Belmont's pretty bad, too. It's just... Christopher's not a threatening name. I'm sorry, any Christophers out there. Chris? Maybe, but, like, Christopher Belmont? Just not a threatening Belmont name. Dracula would laugh at him. Dracula did laugh at him.
Chris Pratt Belmont.
Oh, see? Okay, you ruined Chris as well.
To be fair, Simon's not threatening either. But when you
correct.
When Simon said Belmont, like, come on.
Trevor's not... never mind. No Belmont name has ever been... Sonia Belmont, that's threatening. Yeah. But mostly because I don't remember Sonia Belmont, I picture Sonya Blade as a Anyway. I hope, I almost made a Konami prediction, and mine was going to be DDR returns, because they can't make money. But I was like, I don't know that they could actually feasibly make a home arcade version of DDR, so I don't know about that. I did say, for number 4, though, that Xenoblade Chronicles X releases on Switch, thus bringing an end to all Wii U ports. That should be the last of the probable Wii U ports. There's a couple others that I'd love to see. I'd love to see a Nintendo Land revival, but I think Xenoblade Chronicles X is the last one. They get that out there, all done.
Nice.
Yeah, because Star Fox Zero is too involved with that controller, right?
They could do Star Fox Zero. I just don't think that they want to, and I don't think Platinum wants to.
Fair enough.
I think with Star Fox, if they're going to do anything, they would
go
with a new project, yeah.
Or Eraser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, number 4.
Gen Design's next title with Epic will be revealed at Summer Game Fest as the CG teaser and the release window of 2023. Passionate fans will cry out for PC ports of their previous works shortly after.
As it's being announced, that's as soon as they see the name, someone's gonna type into a search engine, "What is this company?" Oh, Last Guardian on PC now, and they'll get it too. That's the thing that sucks. Matthew.
Metal Gear Solid has a big comeback this year.
Why do you want to get hurt?
It's a big comeback.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you did the Earthbound thing last year. We just set ourselves up.
It hurts. I'm just trying to save you the hurt.
We see an official gameplay reveal of the rumored Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. We also see Oscar Isaac in character as Solid Snake before the end of the year. Now, I'm going to caveat this with saying this could be just a photo. It doesn't have to be a trailer, but he's going to be in the getup, and we're going to see him in it in some regard.
Okay.
The last part of this, Hideo Kojima is not involved with either of these projects.
That makes sense. Nor should he be, right? All right, number 5. Nintendo announces The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Tomorrow, a Grezzo-developed sequel to the Game Boy Color Oracle Duo.
Oh, shit. I would actually really want that.
I know. I thought about what I really want that we haven't had in a while, and I'm like, man, Grezzo hasn't made a game in a while. That last one was that Link's Awakening.
I love the Oracle games.
Yeah. I guess they've supported, like, Miitopia and stuff, but that, and then, yeah. And hey, that one might actually come through. I made that prediction, and then, like, a day later, I saw some stupid YouTube recommendation of some idiot who said, Hot Nintendo Leaks 2022, and they had an Oracle game listed on there, so... if you believe some liar or have hope in what I just said, maybe it'll all happen. Mark?
Ooh, okay. I'm actually kind of torn because I have an extra one written. I do not know which one shall be the scrap. They both feel kind of equal to me, so I'm gonna flip a coin. Listeners, I hope you're wearing headphones. Hey Siri, flip a coin. Got tails. All right. Halo Infinite's co-op is going to have massive limitations when it comes to exploring. The game will force you to stay together as a group. Fast travel will be disabled. The host has to be chief, and only the host can grapple shot and use the bases to request weapons and vehicles. Other players will be able to play as their custom Spartans.
So, just some quick feedback on the fly here. So you could have unmatified this by saying, we will not play the Halo Infinite co-op campaign. That could have been your whole prediction.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that one sounds... See, you do the ones that I don't want to be correct, and then there's that... that hurts.
I have faith. I have faith that they delayed it for dumb reasons like that.
Yeah, maybe that was the reason why that's how it was working.
Yeah, the engine just can't handle 4 people grapple shotting at the same time. That's why only one person in multiplayer can have the power up at a time.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope you're wrong.
I just can't see the traversing being working that well with like up to 4
Plus, we're
people.
all Spider-Man.
I can see the fast travel not being allowed if you're allowed to explore the whole map split up. But if you're contained as a group, I feel like if the party leader requests the fast travel, everyone will go. I don't think both are going to happen.
Yeah, and I feel 4 people
I've been thinking
with,
a lot about
with
that
grapple
myself,
shots. 4 people with grapple shots, I think it's going to break the game.
I mean, that's why there's not 4 Spider-Men at the same time, right?
Not yet.
All right. My last one. Where is it? Speaking of one Kojima-san, he may not be working on the Metal Gear franchise, but he is working with Konami on a franchise called Silent Hill. Game will be cryptically revealed over 2 Jeff Keighley events, and it ends up being a PSVR exclusive to push PSVR 2.
Oh my god. If that happens, I need to like hide my Valve Index so it doesn't hear that I'm getting another headset. Because that is the criteria of me getting a PS5, is pretty much that.
They know.
They
know.
Yeah.
They know there's like 1,000 units to be sold in this one little game.
Oh, I think more than that.
And it's going to be a 6 out of 10.
You got to also remember all the people that would buy it and never play it, but just say that they bought it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole... That's 1 million units sold right there. All the people who got to keep up with their YouTube trends. 2022. What a year. Are we hopeful? It doesn't sound like any of us are particularly...
Y'all want to hear my scrapped one?
Yeah, I do.
Scraps.
I've got one too.
I actually had a couple, but they're quick hitters because I didn't transform them into the mess.
We can go in the same order if you want.
I've only got one, but yeah. I said Pokken Tournament 2.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I hope that's a thing.
So Resident Evil Reverse canceled, gone, not coming back. Forget about it. The game that was leaked and listed as Resident Evil Outrage will turn out to be Resident Evil Outbreak, either a port, a remake, or a spiritual successor. It will be a co-op game finally. Extra credit if it gets attached to Resident Evil 4 Remake that will release this year.
Whoa. Pretty good. Pretty good.
A lot going on there.
That is a lot, yeah.
These were the 3 that hit the board but didn't land anywhere. Splatoon 3 gets above a 93 on Metacritic to end the year. Xbox Live goes away somehow. And something at Valve gets a true 3 this year.
Ooh. Yeah.
The
days are getting closer.
Yeah, something's got to happen Valve-wise. I think that makes a lot of sense. The Resident Evil, are they... Do you think anyone bought Village specifically because they knew they'd get that multiplayer thing for free and Village was just extra for them?
I don't know if I even want to meet that person.
Who are like 5 people that liked Operation Raccoon City? Maybe them?
Yeah, I remember when all that PlayStation Network stuff was happening last year and they were like, hey, we're going to shut this thing down. And there were all those threads popped up of recommendations to get this before it goes away and whatever. There was like one dude just like, yo, you guys got to get Operation Raccoon City. And I was like, really? I didn't even know this was a thing.
So I know Reverse got delayed to 2022. And that's like the last thing you see on their website about it. But it's not even in my Steam library anymore. It got removed. Like entirely.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Well, I guess speaking of things getting completely erased, Matt, you had a question for us this week.
Yeah. I'll explain my story here after I pose the question to let you all think. Has one trivial thing completely erased your interest in a game? Now, this comes off the hot heels this week. I've been promising the Metal Gear Solid return for months, I feel like, at this point. It has happened this week. I went on to complete the original. I started and finished it this week. It's not that long of a game, but yeah, do that. But before moving on to 2, I was like, you know what? Now that I have the power of an emulator on my computer, I've never played the Twin Snakes. It's been out there. I know it has a lot of the additions that like 2, mostly 2, Metal Gear Solid 2 has with like first-person shooting, some hanging off of ledges, that kind of stuff. So I was like, oh, great. Well, I've just finished the original. Let's play this one to see some of the differences and whatever. I don't remember all the reasons why, but I know, this didn't review that. Like, it was like it's fine kind of game, I remember from the scoring. So, yeah, booted it up and kind of right away I noticed some difference in the iconic Metal Gear music. And then I got into the first hangar area where the tank is. And I made a dumb mistake and accidentally alerted a guard. And to my surprise, the classic alert music was changed to this dumb-sounding Matrix generic action score that was bad. And Joe and Mark had the honor of being on a Discord call while that was happening live, and immediately heard my hatred towards this game, and I turned it off and never played it again. So, in a way of trying to tell that story on the enforcing it this week, has there ever been another time, or I guess another happening of this for you guys? I have been trying to think of another one that's been so blatantly bad where I just lost all interest completely, but I couldn't think of another one. I don't know if you guys had another example.
I have maybe two. It depends what y'all think about if button placement is trivial or not.
I think so.
I can't play From Software games because of shoulder button attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just can't get into it. I just prefer face buttons.
Well, I tried playing Mirror's Edge again this week to check out the FPS boost stuff, and the jumping is bound to LB and LT.
Ugh.
Oh.
Why?
Ugh.
Weird.
And I was like, can you remap that? Yeah, you can remap it. You can put it on RB and RT instead of like, no.
Yes. And
yeah. No, I get that one. I got used to that in a From game, but I get, yeah.
Like, I can do it for a little bit, but I don't know.
I don't know. I ended up loving it. I guess this is a case of like the poor Sonic reference of, you'll just get used to it with the camera. But like with hockey, when I got it for the first time, I think it was NHL 10. I got it for the first time on PlayStation 3 when everything was not face buttons anymore. Everything had moved to the shoulder button. So like R2 was pass, R1 was like a saucer pass, like you use the right stick for shooting. Like at first I was very, very jarring using like the right stick for like stick control, but I got used to it, and like I can't think, like I have trouble going back to old hockey games because I can't control my stick the same way. So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, this has nothing to do with the question, I guess, but just reminiscent on a weird controller layout that actually program my brain in a way I can't look back at a different way.
Yeah, that happens too sometimes. Like, but now I'm thinking about like, look, if Gotham Knights comes out and that's shoulder button combat, I don't know how you can get away with that.
What? Is that rumored to be shoulder button?
No, but I'm just thinking in my head, like, if that happens, I can't play it. Like, I'm just...
It better be...
That would be a difficult one to get, yeah.
It better be the...
Because you gotta, like... Yeah, there's a lot there.
Combat. If it's not that combat, I don't know. That might be my answer in the future here. That's one trivial thing completely.
And then, like, the other one is the way that tutorials are presented.
Yes.
I bought Fatal Frame, and after doing the first level, there was still pauses the game, dialogue box. This is the same reason why I never got past Okami with like the same amount of time. Okami and this Fatal Frame game that just came, it's like the re-release of Made in the Blackwater or something like that.
Yeah.
They both are notorious for that stuff, and like it's probably not really anyone's fault. It's just a me thing. But like, I checked out. I actually refunded the game because of it.
No, that's how Monster Hunter Rise is, and I hate it. Like, the only reason I know how to do anything in Monster Hunter is because I tried and failed, and then I also watched some videos by Gaijin Hunter, which otherwise, it's not a great tutorial system. The boxes with text is not a tutorial system. It's a game manual that I can't hold.
And you can have boxes, but don't halt the game. Like, don't take up the whole screen. Like, let it be just like a bottom bar thing or something.
There's the other side of it though, right? Like, you spoke about From Software games, but like they suffer the other side of it where there's not enough. Like, I wish they, like, at least for building a character, like, I didn't know what Arcane was in Bloodborne until I was probably at the Nightmare of Mensis, and it kind of clicked, like, what Arcane actually is. And there's been stuff like that in the Dark Souls games, Demon Souls, and I'm sure, not in February, of course, because my prediction is going to be correct. I can see the future, but whenever we get Elden Ring, I'm sure there's going to be more items in that game that I'm like, what, why, how? And then later on, I realized I wish I would have been told about this mechanic or something.
Yeah.
The immediate one for me is the Rondo of Blood. Sorry. What is that called? Dracula X Chronicles on PSP. There's a port of Symphony of the Night embedded in that, which makes up the basis of the Castlevania Requiem collection on PlayStation 4 and the Castlevania iOS port. I think it's also on Android now at this point as well. But it has the different audio takes, which technically speaking are better recorded voice acting. They are more modernized and probably more accurate to the original Japanese translation, but I just can't shake it. And actually, like, it's funny right now saying it out loud, I realize how silly this all sounds. I should just whatever. But the fact that it's different from the original, I like just cannot get into it.
I get it. Like, there's something there. Like, even though it's not accurate, there's still, I mean, it's like a bit of nostalgia, but also it shapes its identity a little bit with it too. So like the mistakes of a game are still a part of it, you know, like it adds character in a way.
Yeah. And there's things you're like expecting to hear. Like the Mister is slowly getting PlayStation 1 support. And right now games run at full speed. A lot of games do, just without audio. And without audio, I put in Symphony of the Night, or I played that, and like, it didn't matter. I heard the music in my head, the voice act, everything played in my head because of how familiar I am with that. And that other version of the game is just so jarring. I can't play it. And a similar thing happened this week with Wii Sports, because I wanted to play that and did not have a copy of it on hand. Remembered that the Wii U has Wii Sports Club that you can, it's like they HDified it all. So there's, you know, whatever. There's Wii Motion Plus support for all of those now. But I fired it up and like, I'm expecting these little music cues as I go into the bowling game, and like the music's not there. There's little like subtle things about it. There are some things that are there. Like, you know, when you would like move your arm too far back in bowling and all of the Mii's would jump, like that stuff's still there. And like that's cool. But like, there's little music stuff. And I'm like, where is it? Where's the cue? And
so like the, like, do 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 do, like that's not there.
Not there.
How do you
sacrilege? Here's the weird thing though. It's like it is there, but it's like they've redone they've reorchestrated it and they've worked that theme into a more grand music score. Okay. Like it's still, I think it still works. Like I'm not super mad that I bought it, but yeah.
But that's like
and the baseball game uses the gamepad to catch and pitch.
No.
Which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that frustration, and it's like any like classic games that get modernized, like the Final Fantasy ones, and they get the new like mobile font, like typeface, whatever. That's a turnoff immediately.
Yeah. Yep. I can't do that one.
It's not pixelated.
Not at all.
Bye.
Yep. I think the thing, it's not necessarily trivial. But I think your point about control schemes is a big one too. Like, there was some game where like you couldn't flip, like the jump for Mario was incorrect. Like the jump button was B instead of A, or it was A instead of B, but you couldn't. But it's on a Switch, so you couldn't move it to B, even though that's like the natural placement. I don't know. There's some stuff like that that's turned me off, but yeah. Yeah. Matt, did you have another example of that besides the Metal Gear
Nothing. I did think of something else when you brought I think some of the animation type things you were talking about, but it didn't turn me off from the game, but it definitely factored into my decision and the way I went in terms of sports games at the time. The NFL 2K series versus the Madden series of video games. In 04, a little history lesson here, I guess. In 04, that's when I went more towards the Sega side for a year, and I was very passionate about the ESPN football being very much better than Madden. But there was like one dumb animation. It's like the dumbest thing. When you line up on offense and you go under center to snap the ball. Madden had this animation that was just like simple, dumb, like in one fluid motion, quarterback gets under center. ESPN football, it was very much more real, where like the quarterback like stands above center for like a second, like looking at the defense, and then does like this little like natural like hip movement to get under center. One animation. I became a fan of ESPN so much more. Dumbest thing. I think you might understand it if you actually saw the differences between the two animations, but yeah, no, dumb little thing. I mean, I went on to play Madden, of course, like 05 and whatever, but no, that one little thing was like a key. I remember that being a key moment in decision making on which one I wanted for Christmas that year.
Dang.
No, it's that subtle little touch of realism, especially in a game like that, especially in an era where we were looking for realism in everything we did. Graphics were becoming more and more of a real
Freaking
reflection of reality.
kind of similar to Symphony of the Night, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, when they started adding lyrics to the music, I was just not a fan of that. I liked my 30-second MIDI like on my 64 cartridge. That's the original.
Oh yeah,
that's the original format. Why you got to remix it?
I had the 64 one, but then something about all that stuff on Tony Hawk 2 and 3 when I played them on PS1 and PS2 defined musical taste to this day, I think.
Sorry,
but no, I'm with you. That
was a bit.
Oh, well, still. This next segment, credit to user Something Banubal on the Giant Bomb forums. But I want to know, what is 2022 the year of for you? So reflecting on your current gaming habits or what you expect you'll get into over the course of the next 12 months, what do you think 2022 is your year of? And for the listener at home, for some examples, maybe you'll hear Matt say, I really love Sonic Team games. 2022 is the year of the Hedgehog. Or perhaps Mark might say, I was surprised by Borderlands. 2022 is the year of Claptrap. Maybe revisiting games that I once loved has been exciting while the 9th generation of consoles gets going. 2022 is the year of the replay. So what is 2022 the year of? I think that much like the predictions, next year we'll look back on this and maybe consider where did we leave off, or how did this come to fruition? Did we see this through all the way? What do you think?
Yeah. This is going to sound like the most selfish and arrogant thing I might have ever said on the podcast, but 2022 is going to be the year of me.
The year of me.
The year of me. And I say that because I have, in the past, been influenced by wanting to complete that battle pass, by FOMO, by want to be part of the conversation, by trying to get to level 100 in the Halo battle pass by the end of May or whatever, or missing out that weekly dumb background tag scorecard tag thing, right? But I've started kind of doing it. I've started easing myself into this new mind of thinking kind of in like the last couple months here, and I want to see it to fruition where I just like play whatever the fuck I want to play and when I want to play it. Like I don't want to be influenced by a battle pass, like completing a battle pass. If I'm interested in the game, I'll still buy it, but I'm not. That doesn't then turn into me clocking in because I feel like I bought it and now I have to complete it to, get my money's worth out of it. Just None of that. And like, I'm not gonna buy a game that's brand new if I'm not in the mood for it, just because I'm seeing stuff on Twitter about how good it is, and like I don't want to if I accidentally see a spoiler, that's just the way the internet is, and I'm just gonna have to live with it. But also, if a game is good, like, there should be more to it than just that spoiler, right? It should be good mechanically, it should be good, should have a good pace to it. There should be, there's more fun to be had with it than a spoiler. Even like you think of BioShock, right? BioShock has probably one of the best game and twists in a story, right? But like, still, the first 2/3 of that game are still very fun to play with the sandbox of your powers and things like that. So yeah, I think I want to get away from. If I'm ready to be part of the conversation, sure, I'll be in it. But like, I'm not rushing myself. And like, I look at Deathloop earlier, or in 2021, like, I think that was like the definitive key of me finally like kind of adapting this. And I'm looking ahead for like a Horizon. The more and more we get closer to that game, the more and more I think I'm not going to be there day one. Elden Ring, though, like, I'm ready for that game. I'm excited for it. I will probably have that day one. But like, I'm not going to do that with everything just to drive conversation here. And I think the changes in the way we're doing the podcast next year are going to be a big help of that. And at the same time, the way we're doing the podcast is going to force me to play games. But the thing is, like, with those games, some of them, like, I've never not heard of, but like, I've only heard the name maybe mentioned from one of your two mouths, and I don't know anything else about it. So there's a level of curiosity that's going to get me to play these games as well. So yeah, that's what I mean by me.
No, I love that approach. Like, it
right on,
because it is so easy to get caught up in all of the whatever. And I don't know, the one for me that I did for a while was, even in addition to those, it was also like the pressure to buy something because it's on sale. And I'd say this as someone who just bought Cruisin' Blast last night because it was on sale. But turns out that game's pretty good. But I would do that where I'm like, well, it's on sale, so I got to get it. And then I'd have these games that never. I literally, like, we cleaned up the attic not too long ago, and I had DVDs still in the shrink wrap from me being at a Best Buy, and there's a $5 bin, and I'm like, yeah, I need a copy of that. I don't even remember what they were, but there's a brand new sealed copy of it at the local whatever.
Now, I mean, the thing is, though, I think buying games that you're interested in, like what I did when it was kind of FOMO, but I knew this Metal Gear Solid thing was happening, right? It was brewing for a long time, and when 2 and 3 were about to get delisted from the Xbox store, I made sure to grab it beforehand, because I knew at some point I was coming back to these games. So I think, and sometimes it's okay to do those types of things. But yeah, no. You know what? I don't even like look at like cheap ass gamer, or, and I still get all those tweets from Mario coming in. But the thing is, they come in floods where like I just clear all Twitter notifications, and I end up not really seeing them sometimes. So, I think that's part of it now too. I'm not even like looking for it. When they come, and if I got an itch, I'll pay full price, whatever. But yeah.
The year of me, I like that. Mark, what about you?
I'm trying to think about what word to use here, but I'm going to be dumb and clever about it. Year of the Empty Cup.
Ooh.
So that is a nod towards Bruce Lee. He had a quote about like it's basically about just being understanding and being more open-minded. So like, your cup has to be empty in order for someone else to fill it, right? Because if your cup is full, you're only focused on you, and you don't give a shit about anything, whatever. So with the way my brain works, I'm usually more leaning towards like shorter games, things that are more simplistic, arcadey, more casual, because it just seems more manageable to me, and I don't give patience to bigger games. They seem overwhelming, but I think I've slowly been able to kind of shift that a little bit. And with that, it's kind of made me try to appreciate learning, being more patient with games, not being so hasty with my judgments and stuff. Like Breath of the Wild was a good example of that. Just learning just to take my time with things, even whether the game is big or small, you know. Just pacing myself, actually trying to soak it in, and not at the same time try not to fly too close to the sun. But usually more so the patience thing, and just kind of going in with without being triggered by emotions first. I think that is the thing, because I'm seeing myself playing more and more bigger, like not exactly open world games, but bigger games in general, like playing Dead Island here and there, and that's taking its time. You know, feeling that itch for Arkham Origins again. You know, that's more like exploring, and that's a time investment. Y'all heard me talk about playing like Mad Max before, and so like, I'm slowly going back out there. Maybe it's just me right now. Maybe this will switch again in like the next week or so. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, back to solitaire. But but I'm definitely am more aware of it. I'm more considerate about it, and I don't want to dig a hole for myself just only playing one type of game. I want to branch it out more. So you're the empty cup.
Yeah, there's something strong about that kind of patience is huge. Like, we're watching The Sopranos right now for the first time, and you kind of just like know that it's good, right? I think that's the problem with a lot of big games, is like, you know that it's good because everyone says that it's good, and you start it and it's not this like explosive whatever, oh my god, this is the best thing ever made, and you're like, okay, well, this is boring, or this is whatever, or this is not what I thought it was, so I'm going to move on. And I think especially with games, there's constantly, like to Matt's point, this pressure of there's always something out there, right? Like, why are you playing this when you could be playing this or this or this or this or this? And look, this is on sale, and this is buzzing. Oh, this is getting pulled from a store, so you should talk about this. And oh, this one, the developer just got canceled, so don't play this. And even though you like it, there's like so many different things influencing what we play. Where, yeah, I think
you just gotta go with your own flow.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's been fun. For me, 2022, I think, is the year of ghosts. I couldn't think of a good term. Retribution was the first one I thought of, but that has such it's a loaded word, I think. But I think ghosts fits because, one, it's a cool word,
mm-hmm.
and two, it's really brought on by where I've seen myself shift, which I think is not unlike where we've all been sort of shifting. I think we've all got similar sentiments in this scenario, but, you know, I've got a tube TV hooked back up again, and I've got not only the Mister plugged into that, but as we speak, I've got a Dreamcast plugged into it just after a Christmas gift. I've been long planning on getting the PS2 and N64 plugged back into it. Because they've been sitting under the main entertainment center, but not actually active. But I've been spending a lot more time in the last year playing stuff like that than newer games. And the big thing for me is, like, there are all of these things that I missed out on, or I didn't experience the way that I could have, or you know, like games that I had, but I didn't play to the full effect or get the most out of them. And I feel like they've all been haunting me for years, waiting to get their chance. And the Dreamcast is the big thing that I think really sets this trajectory forward, where now I'm in that, and I'm like, getting the Dreamcast was the best gift ever, because it not only gave me the Dreamcast, but it gave me back 1999. So I'm not only doing that, but I'm going to a game store physically to buy games again, and getting excited about like reading the manual before I play the game. And I'm reading copies of EGM to see what Dreamcast games I should check out. Like, it's very much like taking me back somewhere else. And again, like, it's that kind of like the past brought forward again. Like, so I think Ghosts kind of fits in that regard. I also just played through Metal Gear Solid, which was another one where for years I had tried, and it was like, this isn't going where I need it to go. And then you start thinking like, man, this is how long? And the same kind of approach that Mark had, where I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. You know, I'd play like 30 other things, but I didn't have time for this 12-hour game. and now actually spending time with it, getting over that hump, much like Sopranos, it's really good. Really, really, really good. And that one is another one where, like, I'm happy to have played it, but it's one that's, again, kind of haunted me forever, where I'm like, I know I should play it. I know it's good, but I just never got there. So I'm excited to kind of,
I empathize with that.
Explore the ghosts.
I like that.
Me, the Empty Cup Ghosts. I like it. Any final words on 2022 or what you expect or hope for, or?
Really hope Elden Ring's good, because that would be there might be a dose of depression from me for a while.
I don't think they can make a bad game, can they?
I don't know. I've seen some gameplay of what's that PS1 King's Court or whatever? What's it called?
Kingsfield.
Yeah. I've seen some gameplay of that. That didn't seem fun.
You should check out. Hold on, I just saw an ad for this in EGM this morning.
Speaking of ghosts reading EGM.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Eternal Ring. Because Elden Ring is going to get delayed, and you need to fulfill that gap of playing a From Software game with Ring in the title, go check out Eternal Ring for the PlayStation 2.
I had this crazy memory with Eternal Ring, and I never played it. A friend of mine in algebra always had this game with him. He carried it with him.
That's awesome.
It would be in his bag or something, and I would see him pull it out every here and there. He would like read the booklet and like shit like that.
Dude, I love that.
And I was just like, I always saw that cover, but I never knew what the game was. I still don't really know what that game is, but like I just remember him looking at that cover, like walking through the hallways between classes and stuff, or being on the bus and like just being so excited to play it or something. I was just like, wow.
Well, you know why he was reading the booklet? Because the game offered no story at all. And if he couldn't read the item descriptions, he had to read the booklet. That probably had a bunch of lore in it.
But like it was the only other time I remember somebody bringing a game with them to school like that was the release of Halo 2. This was before I knew midnight releases were a thing. That's how he acquired Halo 2. I didn't know that. I was like, how'd you get it so early before like school started? He's doing the Pledge of Allegiance, holding the steel bookcase over his chest.
Over his heart?
Yeah. He was doing the Pledge of Allegiance while holding Halo 2 to his chest.
That's something Kid Rock would do, you know?
Yeah.
He might have been in JROTC or something, but...
he might have been in UNSC at that point.
People holding on to their boxes, man. That was a thing.
You've just inspired like a whole new fashion look for me for this year, I think. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to, well, I'm hesitant to call it Game of the Year 2021. But next week will be our final episode of Season 9 before we move into our new format with Season 10 in episode 436. But next week we'll do our end of the year wrap up, kind of as we've landed a year in review. So we're going to have a bit of a different format for next week. We are foregoing the traditional awards in favor of just talking about games we liked from 2021. We will each kind of put a stamp on something. I'm working on a little visual thing to go along with that for the post on the website, so look forward to that. But yeah, we'll talk about games from 2021, some that came out in 2021, some that were impactful to us in 2021, just kind of across the board. We'll look back over the year, close the chapter on 2021, and then we'll move forward into 2022 proper when we kick off Season 10 on January 17th with episode 436 and Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. I'm taking a detour this week. Speaking of what are you guys getting into this week? I've got a lot of things en route via eBay.com. One of them is a Sonic video game for the Nintendo Wii that features Billy Hatcher as an unlockable character.
Oh,
Yes.
does it? I forgot about that.
That's why I bought that. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that Billy Hatcher episode. Not only to talk about Billy Hatcher, but also I've got the trivia dungeon ready to roll. We've got some good segments planned for that, so stay tuned. But yeah, next week we'll be back with our year in review. What are you guys getting into this week?
I'm gonna be playing Metal Gear Solid games that aren't named the Twin Snakes.
Got him.
Do you think you'll ever give that one a shot?
Nope.
Again?
Nope. I played the original. We're good.
Yeah.
I know what that game is. Don't need the Metal Gear Solid 2 mechanics.
Yeah, I'll probably be sticking around with Dead Island a little more because this is the furthest I've ever been in this game, and I'm like 75% done, something like that. I don't know, but I'm liking it more and more. Like, I actually spent one night switching characters and leveling that one up so I could play with my friend as another character, because the way I was playing, I realized I would get more benefit from a different character who actually specialized in, like, throwing weapons and everything. And that became a really fun thing to do. Yeah, weirdly impressed by that game, even though it has a lot of dated mechanics in it, or just the way how, like, or in a time where we didn't have quality of life improvements, you kind of miss those now. I mean, well, playing that makes you miss it now, but we live in it now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, sticking with that, and I just got a game recently called Bigfoot. This game is weird. It's it's like a co-op game where you have to hunt Bigfoot while he's trying to hunt for you, and it's an early access game on Steam, but it's kind of almost well polished. Like, I'm surprised by it. Like, it's not like, I only had like maybe one or two bugs that I experienced, but it wasn't game breaking, and I don't know, I'm like so interested in it for some reason. That's a game I just want to play more and try to understand it, because there's things I still don't know, like how certain items work and shit like that. Like, there's some, it's weird, but
I'm surprised they hadn't done a game like that before, but yeah, that seems like a good premise for it. First ghost hunting, now this.
Oh yeah, I mean, Phasmo is still a mainstay. I played it at least once or twice a week. But
I didn't realize you're playing it that frequently. I love that.
I have like I might be over it now. I think I have over 150 hours in Phasmophobia. Oh, close. 146.
Yeah, still. By the time this episode goes up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the aforementioned purchase that's en route, I keep messing around on the Dreamcast. I do have to go swap out my copy of Shenmue that I got, though, because Disc 1 is not booting. Sadly. So, but hey, we'll see. See what else I can get into. I've got a couple ideas for what I would grab instead. And yeah. That is it for us on this here episode 434. We'll be back next week with our 2021 year in review to bring our season 9 to a close. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. See you next time. Bye.